Alright, g'day people. Here I am in Narandra Caravan Park on Lake Talbot. I'm going to try something a bit different today. A bit worried about my caravan wheel bearings, so I'm going to try changing them out. Now, I've pulled out the hubs before, but before I left to check them, and I think the seal on this one's gone. But I drove off anyway because I had to get on the road. But anyway, I thought I'd try to change them out here. Now the problem is I don't know what bearings are actually in it. Usually they're Ford or Holden bearings. The only way to find out is to pull the hub out and knock the bearings out and find out. Now I'm not really much of a mechanic, but I'm going to have a go. Alright, so if I do things wrong, so be it. Anyway, the first thing I've done is I've jacked up the wheel with my portable trolley jack. Now I'll give you a look at the portable trolley jack, which is a great thing. You know, some things that you can buy on eBay you can't buy in other places, and short trolley jack is a really good thing. So I'll just give you a look at that. I've also got chassis stands. I put a chassis stand under, and I've put the load onto the chassis stand, and I've just backed up the trolley jack to take some of the load. So I've got two modes of protection there. In case one fails, the other one will not, we hope. Alright, let's have a look at it. So, here we have the trolley jack sitting there quite happily, and behind it is chassis stand, and I've got it bearing on that cross member with a bit of wood just to stop it scratching the galvanised finish. Alright, so it's time to take the hub off. So to get the hub off, we need to take the bearing protector off, which is this is the same one I've used when I was looking last time. Before I left, I took this off, so it's loose. It's loose, and it's just a matter of getting a fine screwdriver in there. Out she comes. Now I'm going to use these things I bought from Coles to hold the parts. Now I've got the split pin and the huge, enormous castle nut. I mean, that castle nut's enormous. I've got a pretty big shifter, but it ain't big enough for that. Whoops! I didn't want to see that. Well, that's the end of that split pin. Alright, pull it out, lever it up, whatever. Split pin. I might clean it anyway just in case. So, how big is that? I don't know, but I know that this will do it. I reckon it's about 2 inches. Hang on, I'll just get a ruler. I'll just get a ruler onto it. 45mm. That's a big nut. Big nut, and I think my shifter, my big shifter, is only 40mm, so it wouldn't be big enough. Anyway, I knew that was going to be the case, that's why I went and bought that from Mitre 10 here in town. Alright, I'm going to put some gloves on. This is going to get messy. Give me a minute. Come on. Alright, let's take that off. That needs a wash. Now, take out the washer. The washer has a flat on it, so they can only go in one way. It's keyed. And then we take the hub off. Well, there's the outer bearing. There's the hub. Too certain about this, but I think the brake shoes are probably, I mean, they've got life left in them, but they look like they're getting down a bit. Maybe they're already down too far. I'm not sure. Anyway, I might get a I'll get some paper towels. Actually, I'll knock the bearing out first. It's very sloppy in there. Very sloppy. This is what I was worried about. I can just pull it in and out like that. It's floating around like mad. Doesn't seem right to me. So, I'm going to take this seal off. It's probably going to wreck it taking it off, but I guess that's what we have to do. I've got some paper towel. Just clean that a bit. Seal a bit. See if we can get it out. The normal way, the conventional way, is you just get a drift and hammer it out. So let's do that. Find a drift somewhere. What have I got? A extension bar. So we can see what's going on. Try knocking it out. No, it did not achieve anything yet. Seems to be moving. Doesn't seem to want to go. Right, it's got it. Yeah, probably not too bad. Alright, So, as you can see, the grease is very old. Very old. I'm just going to get as much of this grease out as possible before I spray it with the degreaser. Alright. Give it a spray. Get it clean. Alright. There's a washer that's more or less clean. And we got this bearing. What does it look like? I don't see any discoloration or anything. I mean, maybe it's alright. It's probably. Maybe it could go back in. Wouldn't surprise me if it's perfectly alright. As it say, it's a Timken LM67048. Now I've got the code, so I'll just check it. LM67048 is a Holden. So that's a Holden. Now what's the inner bearing? Timken 16150. What? 16150, that's not anything I know. What? That's clogged. This is different. That's a different kind of bearing altogether. (16150) FH. It's not an LM, it's an FH. God, what is going on, Roma Caravans? What are you doing to me? I don't know. We can check the dimensions. That's not a Holden or a Ford. That ain't. So, bit of a problem. Dum-dee-dee. What to do? What to do? They couldn't make it simple, could they? I mean, I suppose I should replace it with what it is, if I can. If I can. I'll need a seal. I'll need a seal to fit it. I'm only cleaning the seal just in case I can't get another seal. Doesn't look too bad. I think I can reuse it if I have to. Doesn't look too bad. Right. Now, should spray this, but if I do, I'm going to crush the container that I've used to catch the junk. That won't be good. I'll just try to get as much grease out of it before I do that. So the race is embedded in there. They're both embedded in there. I'm starting to think I might just replace them. I might just put them back in. I think they're okay. I mean, technically I should, yeah, I'll have to knock this, I have to knock the race out. So, how can I do this without making a terrible mess? Difficult. Maybe if I prop that up on something? I don't know. I'll just try spraying it carefully. Just that way around, turn it around a bit. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. So, I'll give you a look at the bearings and racers in a minute, as soon as I finish cleaning this. Okay. I've got to say, they do look pretty okay. I don't see any scratches. Although it's got hot at some point and drawn the temp bar. What's happened there? Something doesn't look quite right. That'll be right. Anyway, so let's have a look. Look at what we're dealing with here. There go those gloves. Let's see what we're dealing with here. So, here is the inner race. As you can see, looks pretty, there's no scratches there. It's good, but I can just show you, if I get a bit of light on that, you can see where the temper's been drawn in the hub, and I don't like the look of that. But that's not something that's happening with this bearing. So here's the outer bearing. The inner bearing. And you know, it spins, no problem. Seems fine. If we look at the inside of it, it's not scratched. Hang on, I'll just put this down for a sec. Basically seems fine. And the other bearing, here it is, this is the Holden bearing. Also Timken. If we look at the inside of that, it looks like there's a scratch there, but I don't think there is. Hang on, I think that's just a bit of grease. No. I think there is might be some pitting there, which we don't want to see. It's not great. But really the thing that really matters are these rollers, right? You've got to say, the rollers they'll look okay. And the same goes for these rollers are all okay. Absolutely the worst fucking camera, the worst phone. It's an absolute user interface nightmare, garbage. So I'm just just making sure these rollers are good. I don't see any pitting or discoloration or anything that could be construed as bad, and the same goes for the outer bearing. Seems to be totally fine. Okay, I've decided I'm going to just put everything back together, repack it with fresh grease, and everything should be fine. The rollers look fine. So I'm just using this super red grease, high-tech oil super red grease, which is supposed to be for bearings. So we'll see how it goes. Pack it in. Pack it in until it comes out, they said. I mean, there's plenty of examples on YouTube of other people doing this. No doubt they're doing it better than I am. But you know, I'm getting the job done. You can just see the grease starting to come out through the top there. One guy, I reckon, he had this cool move where he adjusts the bearing as the movement of the bearing, uses that to help the grease go in, which is a pretty cool idea. I mean, I know vaguely how he must have done it, but the exact details elude me. Anyway, I haven't had any trouble with the bearings in this caravan, I've got to say. Debbie's bearings have been just fine. So I'm sure everything will be okay. I don't see any problem. The only thing is that it was hot at some point. When that was, I mean, maybe did they change the bearings to some other type at that point after it got hot? Maybe they destroyed a bearing at some point and change the bearing to something else, maybe. Anyway, I think this is fine. What I will do is I'll go into town, and the range is not very big, but they may have bearings at some auto. Well, they won't have this particular one at the ordinary auto shop, but they've got a machine shop there that might have them. So I'll just go and see if I can get an exact match. I'll do it. I think I need some more gloves too. It's just weird, the difference between the super heavy duty bearing on the inner bearing and the outer one, which is just so much smaller. So much smaller, it's weird.
Back foot on the front. Push it on the wheel. Push it on the wheel. Not through.
How are we looking? Seems to be all coming out the top, so I think we're right. This grease is very, very viscous, this one. Very viscous. I think they're pretty well packed. So let's fill up the seal. Fill up the seal. Which I think I can use again. Glad I didn't break it. Fill up the seal. Quite a pleasant day here in Narrandera. Actually, the autumn in central New South Wales, very pleasant. Hasn't been too hot, hasn't been cold, lovely. Mid-20s, sunny. Can't say the same for further north where they've had all kinds of floods. So, it's a little bit of grease on the race. Bit of grease on the race. Won't do any harm, will it? Pop the fat bearing in, just like that, and then I'm going to try and get the seal back in. Which I think we can do with a hammer. I know what's happened here. I think I know what's happened here. I think this isn't the way it's meant to be. I think they've put in this heavy duty one instead of the proper one. But I don't know what the proper one was. Or maybe it's just the seal that's wrong. The seals, there's a gap between the seal and the bearing race, which, or maybe they just didn't push the seal on far enough. Yeah, there's a lip. The seal can't go all the way down. It can't meet the bearing. That's not good. So something's happened that wasn't supposed to be there. Well, that's what you get with second-hand caravans that are 20 years old. I mean, I've had Debbie for what, 3 years or something. 2001 model, so yeah, that was 20 years old when I bought her. Alright, just got to tap that on, tap it on. I'll just get some wood. I don't want to make a mess of the seal. Alright, block of wood. And I reckon it's going to be about it. It's not going to go all the way down. Whoops. I suppose I can try just tapping it gently and see what happens. Knocked a bit in there. It's probably not meant to happen. Yeah. I've knocked it in a bit further. contacting the bearing now. Right, so that's one side done. Flip it over. Let's put some grease through the middle. Not too much. There's no point having grease where you don't want grease. You only want grease where you want grease. And in the middle of the spindle, where there's no bearing activity going on, you don't really want it. But a little bit won't hurt to keep the rust away. Only for that reason, not for any other reason. A little bit more bearing on the end of the bearing I can see there. Alright, let's not get too carried away. And the other one drops in there. And they're good as gold. Oh. I do think I need some new brakes probably. You don't really need to put grease all over this stuff. It's just to keep the rust at bay. You don't want the inner race moving on the shaft. That's not a good idea. So just a little bit, just to keep the rust away, and a little bit on the thread to make it easy to go on. Let me put this back on. Let's go. Put that back on. And a washer. Uh, 45mm castle nut, huge. We could put a bit more at the front here, and then a little bit. Just a little bit of grease in the front of the bearing. Okay. Don't want to overdo it. And what you do is you tighten it until it won't turn properly. I'll be done with these by now. Get rid of them. Finger stall. Right. Just tighten it a little bit until it won't turn. I tell you what, it's much harder to turn, much harder to tighten than it was before. Maybe it just needs a haven't got to the 0 point yet. Haven't got to the 0 point and I can't get to the 0 point. What is going on? What is going on there? I mean, that's really... That's really tight, but... Well, I guess that's closer. It's very tight. So my question is, where is the nearest hole? The hole there. Hole there. So back it off a little bit, just so we can get on the hole. I think that's good. No free play there, none. I'll whack this in here. And I don't want to reuse this, but that's what I've got. That's what I've got, so that's what we're going to do. Where's the hole? Come on, hole, where are you? It's there. Hole's there. Down you go, in the hole, come on. Get in the hole. There it is. There it is. Bend this out. And up. Need a new split pin. But anyway, done. We are done. So, reuse this poor thing. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll get a diameter. Alright. Let's have a look. Looks like 57. That's the inside diameter. It's probably the outside diameter that matters. 60 or 59, 60 mil. 60 mil. So I just need to find a... How are we looking? Oh, done. 60 mil diameter. Now I've just got to write down the hub so I know it's a Simplicity HDL10. Alright. That's basically the guts of it all done, right? This was really handy. Let's throw... God, there's so much rubbish. So filthy. Everything's filthy. The problem with doing bearings, grease everywhere, grease. Alright, throwing these out. Let's throw this away. Okay, here's the tyre. Worn, excessively worn on the outside edge, but not so much, but not particularly on the inside edge. So if it's worn on the outside edge, obviously the tyre is leaning in a bit. You'd think if the bearings were loose, wouldn't the tyre lean in rather than out? I'm really not sure. what would happen. Now, the old idiot problem with caravan tyres. They won't fit under the guard unless you jack them right up. So, we jack them up. Jack it up. Not enough. Better. And we just need to find the studs. Well, there we are. It's a ratty old collection of these. Anyway, come on. What do they say they are? 1/2 20 patented. 1/2 20. I believe they're 13/16, I think. Crazy world we live in, we're ostensibly metric but not really. I mean, the government needed to put the foot down and say, no, we're not doing anything metric, we're not doing anything imperial. But instead they just let them do it. So of course they kept on doing it, and they're still doing it to this day. You know, if you buy a bolt, is it a 3 mil? Is it a 9 mil? Or an 8.5 or a 9.5, or is it 3/8? Yeah, is it 3/8? What is it? Is it 12 mil or is it 1/2 inch? I think unless you buy specifically said to be metric bolts, when you think you're buying, yeah, you're still buying a 1/2 inch bolt or a 3/8 bolt or something, you know. You're not buying your 9 mil 5/16 bolts. It's still the way it is. It's still like that. Now, 13/16. Crazy. But that's the size that fits. I tried other sizes around it and they're just not as good, including the metric ones. I've got a set of metric sockets, but none of them are quite right. They're just a little bit out. And you know, you don't want things a little bit out when you're doing with wheel nuts, because wheel nuts need a moderate amount of torque. Not as much torque as people like to give them though. People over torque wheel nuts to the shit house. And then you come to undo them when you need to, and you can't. Because some cunt at the local tyre shop where you got your tyres changed last time used a pneumatic wrench, and God knows what torque that thing put on, you know. 150 Newton meters, something like that. Something bloody way too much. So you just get them tight-ish like that. Take out this chassis stand. Trusty chassis stand. And now we lower away. Lower away. Lowered a bit faster than I was expecting. Anyway, It's all good. Let's get the final torque on this thing. So start from 11 o'clock. Do it up fairly tight. 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Ouch. 5 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock. And we're done. So, I've satisfied myself as to the bearings I do have in this van. Because this is a Roma, it's originally a Roma, and Roma went bankrupt in G'day people, here I am again. This time I'm free camping south of Forbes. Now 2 days ago I did the left hand side, as you saw, and today I'm going to do the right hand side. I was a bit busy on the other day, couldn't do them both in one day. I did replace the split pin. I went in to see the mechanic shop in Narrandera, and they only had the Holden Ford bearings, and they didn't have a cap to fit or seal, so obviously I did the right thing just putting the stuff back in. But they did have split pins, and you saw from the previous one that the split pin broke where I didn't want it to break. I did wrap it around, but I really didn't feel confident with it like that. So yesterday I was going through, what was it, Grung, something like that. I was going through there and I stopped and on the tarmac and pulled the wheel off and replaced the split pin on the left hand side. So today I'm going to do the right hand side. The other thing was, of course, when I was trying to show you the jack setup and the chassis stand setup, I couldn't do it because stupid camera yet again, stupid phone yet again. You know, you think you're videoing and you're not. I mean, you press the button and it doesn't work, you know. Usually it does, sometimes it doesn't. Oh, I fucking hate it. Motorola. That's not to say the others are any better. Sure, you know, if I was really 100% switched on all the time, I would check to make sure we're recording, but you know. Sometimes you just assume things, and plus I'm getting old and stupid. Anyway, I'm going to show it to you now, so you can see. You see how I do this stuff. So let's go. Video. Let's make sure it works this time. Alright, we're recording. So, here's the trolley jack. Trolley jack. Underneath. It's jacking underneath the trailing arm suspension. Very good. Now, I had to use this longer extension, which I got from my workshop trolley jack at home, because this sort of bullshit is not going to cut the mustard. It doesn't cut the mustard. Sure, there's another end on it, but hang on, I'll get the other end. This is the garbage you get. I mean, this is the modern world, you know. Once upon a time, hang on. Once upon a time, they give you a really good handle, but not this one. So this handle is a bit shorter, and that extra goes in the way of the hand, right? So if you compare the lengths, you can see it's just not long enough. And because it's not long enough, you don't get the torque you need to lift, you know, getting on for 2 tons. You don't get the torque you need. So you must have a longer handle. You know, they're just fuckwits. The people that design this shit, Now there's the chassis stand. You can see it's under one of the good steel members in the car. Got a bit of hardwood there to stop it getting scratched. It's nicely sitting on the ground. All good, right? So I've got two. I've got my safety. So turn that off. So at the moment I've got some of the load on the chassis stand, some of the load on the jack. It's kind of balanced between the two, which is what I want. Now the other thing I should mention is, of course, if I was a really good mechanic, which I certainly am not, just an amateur. Oh, what the fuck's going on here? Didn't I turn you off? Apparently I didn't turn the fucking stupid thing off. Anyway. If I'd been a really good mechanic, where's that number? There it is. If I'd been a really good mechanic, I would have realised what mattered was not, to find out what the bearings are, what mattered is not who made the caravan, what matters is who made the hubs. That's what matters. And they're made by Simplicity, and Simplicity are still in business. All you got to do is go to the Simplicity website and you can find out what bearings you need. Right, now if I'd been a good mechanic I would have known that, and I would have been a big jump ahead before I started. Anyway, doesn't matter. I've been there now. I know what I need to do. I know where I can buy those bearings. Now I can buy a complete kit in Bundaberg. I might actually just try and buy them from a really big bearing supplier. If I can find one on my road north, I'll just buy them. The dust cap's the problem. It's going to be hard to find dust cap. It's a 59mm dust cap, hard to find. So hopefully, and if I can't find it, I'll just get them in Bundaberg, and I'll just replace this dust cap. It'll be fine. It'll be good. All right. So I'm going to do that today. I've already shown you me cleaning the bearings and repacking them, so I'm not going to do it again. So this is it. Beautiful place here, lovely free camp, and there's no one around to bother me while I'm doing my bearing recap. So happy days, travellers, and if you've got your own van and you don't want to spend $390 getting someone else to repack your bearings, do it yourself. And you know, just carry some grease and parts wash and whatever, and you can do it. Don't need to do it every year, but before every big trip you should probably do it. Alright, happy days.